Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 336 based on novel. So let's start. Under the mysterious power of the Di-Yang ring, the undead fire that had always been tyrannical was rapidly suppressed by it. Become weaker. My dear, thank you very much. After a while, the Emperor Yang ring slowly returned to Xiao Yang's hands, Xiao Yang said with relief, but Xiao Yang found that the luster on the Emperor Yang ring became brighter and brighter, and there was something vaguely vague about it. A mysterious power lingers on it. That kind of power is like the ruler of heaven and earth, unshakable. Immortal fire. After a few breaths, the corners of Xiao Yang's mouth became hot as he looked at the weak grey magma in front of him. This smear of grey magma, the size of a palm, is not the power of the undying fire, its power of origin exists in it. We are really destined. Seeing the undead magma standing quietly and without any movement, Xiao Yang smiled slowly. Without any hesitation, Xiao Yang's figure came to the side of the grey magma in an instant, and immediately his palm was wrapped in two dazzling flames. His eyes were extremely solemn. Looking at this appearance, he wanted to stretch his palm into it. Don't care, now only by taking advantage of the weak state of the undead fire to obtain its source and holy flame crystal, can you be qualified to devour it. Otherwise, if you stay here for a long time, once the power in the body is used up, the consequences will be unimaginable. The throat is dry. After rolling a few times, Xiao Yang couldn't help but said. The attack of undying fire just now was blocked or even absorbed by Emperor Yanjie. No doubt Xiao Yang had already gained undying fire's approval, but the next step was the most important step. Immerse into the source of the undead fire, let the undead fire completely recognize it, and immediately obtain the holy flame crystal before the final step of devouring. Boom. Without much hesitation, Xiao Yang gently stretched his palm into the grey magma flame, trying to capture the flame like a spot of light, because this thing is the true source of immortal fire. Aggressive. After the blink of an eye, Xiao Yang's palm was close to the grey magma of the immortal fire, but it was blocked by an extremely tyrannical repulsive force. It really doesn't work. Xiao Yang was devastated by the grey flame for a while, and beads of sweat the size of beans continued to appear on his forehead. This seemingly weak flame actually caused Xiao Yang a lot of pressure. Forget it, let's use those things. After some thought, Xiao Yang also gave up on forcibly pulling away from the source of the undead fire. After all, Xiao Yang couldn't bear any loss of such a tyrannical flame. Immortal leaf. With a soft call, the ice soul frost leaf, undying leaf and other treasures that had been collected by Xiao Yang also slowly emerged. A rather huge square ice cage about dozens of feet in size appeared in front of Xiao Yang. One of the beautiful leaves was eroded and protected by countless cold forces, so that the dark red flames that formed the immortal leaves were quite hot. After the ice cage appeared, the temperature of the grey undead fire in this void dropped suddenly, and even a trace of white ice mist continued to overflow from the ice cage towards the undead magma. Immortal leaves are indeed the nemesis of undead fire. Seeing this, Xiao Yang was overjoyed in a hurry. What kind of flame is the undead fire? Even if it is the fusion of the three holy flames on his body, with the power of the great heaven seed, it is still invincible, but this seemingly inconspicuous undead leaf actually gives its power to a large extent. The suppression made Xiao Yang quite happy. Seeing the current appearance of undead leaf, Xiao Yang waved his hand, and an exquisite item slowly appeared. The first is the medicinal pill specially refined to devour the undead fire, the ice profound pill, and the cold liquid collected by swallowing the undead fire, the undead leaf. Bing Shendan, the 5th grade immortal rank, Xiao Yang has naturally succeeded in refining it now, and the immortal leaves are already ready. In the square cage, a strip of blades made of dark red flames danced happily like an elf. Every time it beat, the countless ice strands in the ice cage would be completely melted, and the ice cage did not seem to be unusual. Every time the ice silk disappears, a lot of ice silk will grow again. Repeatedly, the power of the undead leaf is perfectly preserved. Xiao Yang did not rashly take out the necessary medicinal materials for swallowing the undead fire, because Xiao Yang knew that if ordinary people wanted to devour the holy flame, they had to extract the source of holy flame and swallow it directly. With the help of these medicinal materials, his success rate is only 1/10. After all, pulling away from the source of holy flame is an extremely difficult task. Let's start. Xiao Yang calmly adjusted for a quarter of an hour before slowly opening his pupils and said solemnly, "Immortal leaf." With a cold snort, Xiao Yang's palm was wrapped by his two holy flames, turning into a blue-yellow flame palm, lightly reaching into the ice cage, and probing towards the dark red undead leaf. Bang bang bang. Undead leaf seemed to be quite spiritual, and when he noticed Xiao Yang's actions, he violently rioted, and around the leaves, circles of dark red flames spread like a tide. I still don't believe that even 2 holy flames can't clean up a small undead leaf. Xiao Yang watched the undead leaf flying around in the ice cage, but he couldn't catch it for a while, and couldn't help but muttered. With a sound, the dark red undead leaf did not escape Xiao Yang's claws, and was directly held tightly by Xiao Yang's green-yellow palm. Just as he held the undead leaf, a piercing cold suddenly swept through his heart, causing Xiao Yang and even his soul to tremble, but at the same time, a circle of dark red shackles appeared. The protective shield generally protects the numerous meridians and skin in Xiao Yang's body. The undead leaf, the combination of ice and fire, really lives up to its reputation. He carefully took the undead leaf out of the ice cage immediately. Xiao Yang's arm was filled with ice mist, and even the temperature of the entire void dropped suddenly. Seeing this, the weak undead fire magma suddenly trembled, as if undead leaves had a rather tyrannical restraint on it. Give it to me. Seeing this, Xiao Yang smiled slightly, and immediately held the undead leaf tightly in his palm, and with the help of the unpredictable power of ice and fire of the undead leaf, he directly penetrated into the undead fire magma. This time, not only was Xiao Yang protected by the 2 holy flames, but also the protection and blessing of the undead leaves. Immediately, the impediment of the undead fire magma to Xiao Yang was reduced to a minimum. That's the case, Xiao Yang was also screaming and howling. After all, if you want to extract the source of undead fire, you can only invade it, and the grey magma flame that protects the source of undead fire is comparable to Xiao Yang's 3. The power of the fusion of holy flames, so let Xiao Yang have many means of protection, the inhuman pain is still a roar to him. It's been so long since I entered the ghost world. After walking this way, I finally found the undying fire. I want Xiao Yang to return empty-handed. Dream. A low roar like a beast emerged from Xiao Yang's mouth, and Xiao Yang's palm ignored the obstruction of the grey magma and flew directly at the light spot in the center. As for Xiao Yang's expression, it was extremely ferocious, and the pupils were full of endless bloodshots, and even the layers of ice shackles of the undead leaves on the body also quickly melted after entering the grey magma. The destructive power of that grey flame is far beyond Xiao Yang's understanding. Whether it's life or death, transformation or fall, I'm afraid this is the time to watch. Bang bang bang. The heart-piercing roar resounded throughout the void. In the void, there is nothing but a man wrapped in dark red shackles of ice silk. He slowly raised his palms and probed into the mass of grey magma in front of him. I sue. Xiao Yang noticed that the source of the undead fire was too cunning, and it was beating continuously. No, it can't be dragged on like this, otherwise once the power of the undead leaves is exhausted, I'm afraid this time, it will only end in failure. Seeing the dark red undead leaves above the palm of his hand, Xiao Yang said solemnly. He knew that without the protection of the undead leaves, it would be quite difficult to approach the undead magma, let alone swallow it. This time, get out of here for me. In an instant, the countless soul powers in Xiao Yang's body surged like a vast ocean, and even his body was spinning at high speed. The huge power instantly enveloped Xiao Yang, making Xiao Yang's breath push to the top. Crack. With a sound, the grey light spot inside the grey magma was suddenly shaken by Xiao Yang's tyrannical force, and in a brief moment of daze, it was directly caught by Xiao Yang, and the place returned to calm immediately. Grabbing the grey light spot, Xiao Yang's palm directly pulled out from the grey magma with the momentum of thunder, and the undead leaves, which had already consumed most of the time, burst out with extreme cold power, destroying the source of the undead fire. The spot of light, completely wrapped, is so, Xiao Yang's arm is also stiff. If it erodes into the undead fire magma for a long time, then I am afraid that the end. The source light spot of the immortal fire is quite small, only about the size of a firefly, but it is this small light spot that contains enough power to destroy the sky and destroy the earth. The gap in it is heart-pounding. He pulled out his palm, the dark red undead leaves had already consumed most of it, and there was even a strong burnt smell on Xiao Yang's palm, which was extremely pungent. Xiao Yang was tightly bound. This holy flame is too strong, isn't it? Looking at the grey spot of light in the palm of his hand, wrapped in dark red undead leaves, and looking at the black lacquer appearance on his palm, Xiao Yang couldn't help but feel black. String. Even with the protection of many holy flames and undead leaves, capturing the source of the undead fire would take so much trouble. Just imagine, if this was done without any protection, I am afraid that someone as strong as Xiao Yang would easily fall here. Wang buzzing. At the same time, a prismatic crystal flashing with grey mysterious lines suddenly broke through the void and came to Xiao Yang. Finally, it's successful. Seeing this scene, Xiao Yang was relieved and couldn't help laughing. Finally succeeded. In the beginning, Emperor Yang gave the immortal fire a prestige, so that the immortal fire could not have any opinion on him, but at that time, the holy flame crystal had not fallen off. Obviously the immortal fire had not fully recognized Xiao Yang, and now Xiao Yang is submerged in the immortal fire magma, obtaining the true origin and obtaining the true recognition of the undying fire. Saint Yangjing came one after another. Undying fire. Xiao Yang's eyes became dull, and he looked at the grey light spot and the grey saint flame crystal in disbelief. The power of this undead fire is probably comparable to the sum of all the flames on his body, and once he devours the undead fire, not only will his strength be greatly improved, but even the burning and swallowing techniques will be increased. For Xiao Yang, it could not be better. It's not too late, let's do it. It will definitely take a lot of time to devour the undead fire. I hope it can catch up with the Second World War, and acacia broken enteric inflammation. At the end of the sentence, Xiao Yang gently touched his chest with his palm, as if he was comforting something. Holy flame crystal. Xiao Yang snorted coldly, and the other two holy flame crystals were instantly collected into the sea of fighting qi, and their eyes were fixed on the grey holy flame crystal. On the grey holy flame crystal, a trace of grey lines appeared. Under these lines, there was a smear of grey liquid. The fluctuations in the liquid were the key to swallowing and absorbing the undead fire. Wang buzzing. Grey Saint Yangjing noticed Xiao Yang's actions, and immediately responded to Xiao Yang with waves of waves. Come on. Without too much hesitation, Xiao Yang used all his strengths in his body, and his eyes sank immediately. Bing Xiandan and Sheng Yangjing, as well as the source of undead fire, floated in front of him together. Boom. After a while, the surging soul power in Xiao Yang's body turned into a surging river, which instantly swallowed the grey holy flame crystals in. Wang buzzing. The soul power just touched the grey holy flame crystal, and waves of Sanskrit sounds shook Xiao Yang's limbs, causing Xiao Yang to feel dizzy. This thing really isn't so easy to clean up. But Huang Quan is angry. Yu Mingtian is stunned. After resting, Xiao Yang's pupils shrank tightly, and two tyrannical soul attacks roared directly at the holy flame crystal wrapped in the soul river. Those scenes can be described as appalling. Bang bang bang. The soul ripples spread like a tide. At that time, the grey holy flame crystal swayed slightly, and traces of grey liquid flowed out of it, and then gathered in Xiao Yang's soul river. Success. Gaze at the twin flame pupils. Seeing that the grey holy flame crystal has released its supreme power, Xiao Yang immediately laughed at the corner of his mouth. In an instant, Xiao Yang's two-color pupils filled with khaki yellow cyan, with a strong destructive power, poured into the river of soul. Leave me in. At this time, Xiao Yang's soul power, holy flame crystal liquid flame and soul holy flame pupil all entered, and this seemingly transparent soul river became turbulent, as if it would explode at any time. www.mtlnovel.com /hoo. With a sound, the source of undead fire was also thrown into the soul river by Xiao Yang. In the blink of an eye, countless conspicuous cracks appeared in this soul river, as if it would be broken at any time. If this level of power exploded, I am afraid that this immortal holy tan will completely turn into nothingness. Ice profound pill. With a cold snort, Xiao Yang swallowed the pill with great difficulty, and bursts of mysterious and gentle power filled his body, and the threat of undead fire was suddenly greatly reduced. Success or failure, it's up to this time. As soon as he finished speaking, relying on the many defenses formed by the ice profound pill, Xiao Yang opened his mouth to breathe, and actually swallowed the soul river instantly. Crack. Roar. The soul river had just been swallowed, and waves of special power flowed around Xiao Yang's body, causing Xiao Yang's blue veins to burst. His face turned extremely pale, and even the corners of his mouth overflowed with blood. His breath became very sluggish, and he would fall at any time. However, after a while, Xiao Yang's aura became stronger and stronger, and it continued to transform from strength to weakness. In the dome of undying fire, there was a dead silence. No one knew whether Xiao Yang would succeed or not, and no one knew how much time Xiao Yang needed. Little guy, success or failure is up to you. I hope you won't let down the trust of several holy flames in you. The future wars of heaven and earth will also depend on you. Outside the dome, little Zhuoma's jade hand gently stroked, and his forehead has returned to normal, but his jade hand is surrounded by it. The little beast exuded bursts of joy. At this moment, the devouring of the undead fire is slowly going on, and many things are happening outside. At the same time, a dark area within the void of Li Soul territory. King. In a gloomy corner, thousands of figures were lined up. These guys were dressed in neat military uniforms, and the evil aura was confused with the bright aura. It was quite strange. Respectfully said to a woman in front of him. The woman is wearing a pair of simple clothes, but the power hidden under the shadow is enough to destroy the world. The bright lines in the heart, together with the bright eyes, contain a trace of strange power, which pushes the breath of this woman to the real peak. Demon of Light. Is the investigation clear? Who made a presumptive decision to go to the holy Tan of the Undying to try to compete for holy flame, or even steal a pure heart for this purpose? The woman's voice seemed to be light and lovesick, which was quite pleasant, but the anger in her voice was full of anger, but it can't hide it. Wang. I'm sorry, they are my subordinates. For a time, among the thousands of people, a burly man walked out dignifiedly. Feng Tian, you? Watching the man walk out, the woman standing beside the Demon of Light couldn't help but be surprised. The Demon of Light is the real powerhouse among the evil tribes outside the realm. The demon army under his command is called a demon guard. Although there are only 1,000 demon guards, all of them are well-trained powerhouses, and there are also demon guards among them. Strength and weakness. The Demon of Light is the strongest, but I don't know if it has touched the reincarnation. Below it are the left and right wings of the demon. The left and right wings are the confidants of the Demon of Light. The strength is also at the level of 8-star fighting immortals. After that, it is in charge of the demon guards. The leaders of the great demons, the strength of these leaders hovers between the 7 stars, followed by the most common demon guards, but among the demon guards, the one with the lowest strength is also in the ranks of fighting immortals, so this army of only a few thousand people was many powerhouses in the 7 realms are afraid. Wang, the subordinates are not properly managed, and I ask the king to convict him. The demon leader didn't change his mind, knelt down on one knee and said respectfully, King Reporter, I have already figured out the doorway and the location of the temple of Li Sol domain. Now the Lord of Li Sol is sluggish, it seems that he has entered a deep retreat, which is the best opportunity to attack. At the same time, the void squirmed, a demon leader appeared at Du. Let's start the war. The target this time is the 4 temples of the Lord of Li Sol, and the main target is the Lord of Li Sol. I'll make you pay back everything you've done to him. As soon as the voice fell, the 1,000-strong team was divided into 10 groups and launched a real attack on Li Sol territory, and this so-called light the devil, the hatred of the master of the soul, has reached the bone marrow of hatred. Although Li Huanyu had gathered a lot of powerhouses, it suffered heavy losses for a while. Therefore, the real war was also caused by the complete launch of the Demon of Light. On the other side, the battle of the immortal fire slowly passed. Although the powerhouses of the 5 major courtyards were extremely dissatisfied with it, at the last moment, under the terrifying power of Xiao Yang, they could only withdraw. After they went back, they spread the news that Xiao Yang was human and possessed 3 holy flames. Suddenly Xiao Yang became the most famous person on the most wanted list in Li Sol domain. Countless powerhouses tried to find Xiao Yang to kill him so that taking Sheng Yang as his own, but Xiao Yang's situation is quite strange, they spent a lot of energy and could not find it. Even the 10,000 fire sect under Xiao Yang was almost affected by this, but fortunately, due to the protection of the Dean of the Spiritual Academy and others, the 10,000 fire sect had nothing to do, and even the strong souls of the Li Sol realm were interested in arresting Xiao Yang. The current Xiao Yang is still swallowing the fire of immortality in the Holy Tan of Immortality, and they have nothing to do. However, just when many experts were surprised that Xiao Yang was carrying 3 holy flames, a piece of bad news came, which shocked the entire Li Sol realm with 5 thunders. Among the shrines of the Lord of Souls, the North Shrine. What's going on? In the North Temple, there is nothing but 4 huge stone pillars, and the rest are flat ground. At this time, dozens of high-level leaders have gathered here. The lowest strength of these high-level leaders is also the level of 6-star fighting immortals, and even there are also 7-star level powerhouses. They are all the tyrannical masters of the plains under Li Sol territory or even a hero, which naturally includes the Dean of the Grounds. What happened? I didn't ask you to go to clean up the suspected Soul Eater domain. What's the matter with you? Above the lobby, a white-haired old man squinted and asked. The body of this old man is very familiar to them. This guy is the uncle who guards the North Temple, the Lord of Li Sol, and controls the most tyrannical Li Sol guard. Uncle. In the territory of Li Sol territory, I found a demon guard under the Demon of Light. They not only disguised to avoid our perception, but even entered the Holy Tan of the Undying to try to compete for Holy Flame. One of the men said with an ugly expression. The Devil of Light. When Bo Laro heard the words, he slowly stroked his white beard with both hands. Sir, please also invite the Lord of the Soul to come out and discuss countermeasures together. For a while, seeing the old man's attitude, these strong men panicked. They are all the subordinates of the Lord of Li's soul. Now the enemy is facing the enemy, and the demon guards are coveting them. In addition to the Soul Eater realm where the enemy's situation is unknown, countless strong people in the entire Li Soul realm are very worried. They knew that if something happened to Li Huanyu, they would not be able to get rid of it, so they were so nervous. Your Excellency is temporarily unable to show up for important matters. Now, everything in the temple will be discussed by the masters of our 4 major temples. You don't have to worry about it. The old man stroked his white beard and smiled at everyone. Hall Master. The origin of the Demon of Light is mysterious, and he is one of the most mysterious kings among the evil races outside the realm. Moreover, this guy is still at the level of a White King, so it should not be underestimated. YA insisted that even if they were threatening to commit the following crimes, they must resolve this matter. I said it before. Let's all go back. Seeing this, Bo Laro's voice shook slightly, and a dazzling energy ripple spread out. Like a real master, no one could shake it. Everyone heard the words and they could only shake their heads secretly, move their footsteps slightly, and try to leave the temple. Hall Master. The big thing is bad. In an instant, an armored figure with a figure as fast as a ghost trembled from the void in an instant, with a nervous expression, and countless **** auras permeated the armor, which was quite terrifying. This guy, isn't Li Huanwei's squad leader? Why are you so embarrassed? What's the matter? The strong man on the scene couldn't help but stop when he saw this scene. Speak. Seeing this, Bo Laro slowly clenched his palms and asked immediately. The Demon of Light led the demon guards under his command, and the troops were divided into 10 groups, and began to attack our Li Huanyu. Li Huanwei's expression was serious, and every voice in his voice was extremely heavy. Clang. With a sound, the 4 heaven-reaching stone pillars in the temple shattered instantly, and an aura of awe burst out from Uncle Laro's body. Call the other 3 hall masters, and the remaining powerhouses, go to the front line to resist the Demon of Light first. The old man's figure sounded like a bell. My subordinates take orders. Listening to Uncle's words, the strong people present also understood, their figures disappeared, and they followed Li Huanwei towards the front line. It should come, after all, there is no escape. Master, that choice was wrong after all, it angered the 3 forces of the 3 realms, and this Demon of Light, I always felt as if I knew it. After watching, his footsteps trembled, and he immediately walked out of the temple. At this moment, the Demon of Light's declaration of war on Li Soul territory also started completely. The real war has also started completely. Just as the many powerhouses in Li Huanyu were busy dealing with the army of Demons of Light, Xiao Yang's body was also completely unfolded. It was obvious that it had taken a lot of time to devour the undead fire, and now it was a natural step. The mystery of the space, staying here for a year, is only a month outside the outside world. For this reason, Xiao Yang also spent a lot of time, but everything is naturally worth it. Inside the holy town of Undying, Xiao Yang's eyes closed slightly, and the fluctuating breath on the corners of his mouth indicated that Xiao Yang's current state had soared to the limit, so that the light spot of the source of undead fire was even some other powers have completely disappeared without a trace. Boom. After a while, this giant egg was completely burned by a grey flame, and it was suddenly completely shattered. Bang bang bang. With a sound, the dome space was instantly shattered. Xiao Yang's figure was sitting quietly as if standing still, with 3 flames above his head, slowly confronting each other, but these 3 flames are now without any restlessness, rather quiet, in this extremely quiet space. The terrifying power that destroys the world and the earth contained in the 3 flames revolves slightly. Khaki, teal and grey. The 3 flames quietly surrounded Xiao Yang's head, and every time one of the flames was too strong, Xiao Yang would generate bursts of suction and it away to maintain the balance of the 3. 4 years. Seeing Xiao Yang like this, above the void of the undead Saint Tan, Xiao Zhuama couldn't help but said playfully. For 4 years, Xiao Yang has been standing quietly in the small space of the giant egg to absorb the undead fire. Although the undead fire is extremely stubborn, but with the increase of Bing Shendan and the undead leaves, the undead fire is completely swallowed up, and the small Dolma witnessed the whole process with her own eyes, and naturally felt a lot. After all, she would have been unable to hold on to the heart-rending torture. During this period, little Dolma didn't leave either, and kept waiting here quietly. A few years were just a snap for her, and 4 years would be just 4 months for the outside world. 4 years, for Xiao Yang, was like a white horse passing through a gap, but it was such a long period of time that Xiao Yang completely swallowed the fire of immortality. Finally, successful. Xiao Yang's pupils opened slightly, and fiery fluctuations filled his body. Congratulations. Seeing this scene, Xiao Zhuoma instantly came to Xiao Yang and said sweetly. The immortal fire changed hands, and he was enough to regain his freedom. The next step is the really important step. Xiao Zhuoma nodded respectfully, and Xiao Yang didn't hide it in the slightest, and the fiery fluctuations in his pupils became more powerful. Before swallowing the holy flames such as Huaxin Tianyang, relying on the power of Fenju and Shenyang, they gave Xiao Yang a great help. Now the undying fire is the best choice in terms of rankings and others. I am afraid it will become a great help for Xiao Yang. Whether it is the increase of strength or the evolution of Fenju, swallowing the holy flame is an essential part. On the palm of the hand, the grey Saint Flame crystal appeared slightly, and at that time, the immortal Saint Tan Void burst out with a very strong sense of crisis. Fengju. His eyes became dignified, he held the grey holy flame crystal tightly in his hand, and shouted loudly. Immediately, a rare mist filled Xiao Yang's head, which immediately turned into a golden scroll, floating in the air. On top of Xiao Yang's head. Seeing this strange scene, Xiao Yang was also at a loss. In the past, there was no such battle when he urged Fenju to devour Shenyang. This guy. Little Duomedai frowned, her beautiful eyes staring at Xiao Yang who was beside her. The golden scroll gave her a touch of oppression like a real superior, and this oppression is not only oppression the power in her body, even the power of undead fire, and she can feel it. The golden scroll is full of mysterious power. This mysterious power makes undead fire shudder. Undying fire is a holy flame ranked 17th, and it is possible to generate such a huge movement with just such a scroll. I am afraid that this guy's cultivation technique has a lot of background. For a moment, Xiao Zhuoma thought. Emperor Yang ring? After the blink of an eye, Xiao Yang also felt relieved. Obviously, this scene is all due to the Emperor Yang ring. Since it suddenly became restless and made its own move, it devoured the power of undead fire, and was immediately swallowed by Xiao Yang. When he was immortal, he helped Xiao Yang a lot. As for the burning decision in his own body, it seemed to be caused by his special power. Forget it, it shouldn't be a bad thing. Xiao carefully sensed the golden scroll in front of him, and found that there was nothing wrong with this thing, and it was completely something that he urged Fenju to cultivate. Next is the real highlight. For the time being, without thinking about the origin of the golden scroll and the mystery of the Emperor Yang ring, Xiao Yang squeezed Sheng Yangjing tightly in the palm of his hand, stared at the golden scroll, and said with a smile. Undying fire is a holy flame ranked 17th. Don't let me down, Xiao Yang said, and immediately the surging power in his body permeated. Give it to me. Evolve for me. With a cold snort, Xiao Yang's pupils became serious, and the dazzling soul power wrapped himself around him. Immediately, without any hesitation, the grey Saint Flame crystal threw it directly at the golden scroll. This guy, crazy. Xiao Zhuoma looked at Xiao Yang's crazy behavior, couldn't help biting her silver teeth, and asked in doubt. Boom. The deafening voice continued to sound. When the grey Saint Flame crystal just touched the golden scroll, all the limbs and even the countless meridians in Xiao Yang's body became restless. An awe-inspiring feeling filled Xiao Yang's body, making Xiao Yang's pupils shrink tightly, and the pores all over his body shrink involuntarily, as if encountering a great enemy. Stop. You will die if you go on like this. Seeing Xiao Yang's crazy behavior, Xiao Zhuoma couldn't help but feel a sour nose and tears in the corners of her eyes. Although she didn't spend much time with Xiao Yang, Xiao Zhuoma couldn't help it. But he knew that Xiao Yang was by no means an ordinary person. If he fell here like this, I'm afraid. No, do not want. This is the way to go. I can do it, Xiao Yang said with difficulty, looking at the beautiful little Dolma who had turned into a red elf and forcefully gritted his teeth. Crash. The grey Saint Yangjing became restless in the next moment, and countless grey flames roared out, completely filling the holy tan of the Undying, and Xiao Yang was actually in the center of the sea of fire. Those scenes were a little palpitating. It's all here, how can you be run away? Give it to me, evolve me. With a cold snort, Xiao Yang's bloodline became boiling, and the soul power was injected into it. The grey Saint Flame crystal, which had always been restless, gradually became quiet, and a rare grey liquid immediately smeared into it, slowly flowing towards the golden scroll. The golden scroll as a whole looks like a round jade flute, but it contains a total of 36 holes. With the appearance of this scene, 3 of the holes are slowly filled with some liquid. The khaki liquid, the cyan liquid, and the grey liquid, The 3 drops of liquid in the 3 holes are about the size of a finger, but Xiao Yang knows that once these 3 holes are filled perfectly, I am afraid that he will undergo earth-shaking change. At the same time passed by every minute and every second, and Xiao Yang's strength suddenly skyrocketed. The middle stage of the 4-star fighting immortals. 4-star fighting immortal late stage. This guy. Little Zhuama couldn't help muttering while looking at Xiao Yang's quiet suspension in midair and the endless majesty emanating from the golden scroll. Why does this golden scroll have the breath of a holy king? And this guy can devour several kinds of holy flames into one at the same time. Could it be that he? After a while, little Dolma's beautiful eyes slowly turned, wondering. Holy king, this is one of the strongest people in the Great Thousand World. Although Xiao Zhuama is the spirit of holy flames, his existence is quite young, and he just learned from the undead fire that this so-called holy king has no idea what he has experienced, but it seems that he has obtained 36 holy flames. The trust and convincing of the first time between heaven and earth, the evil race from outside the territory was eyeing, and the 36 holy flames tried to submit to the holy king and were willing to be swallowed by him, thus establishing a real holy race and helping the holy king to step into the real world. Of the highest realm. Fighting God. It's a pity that he was rejected by the holy king for some reason, but that's the case. The strength and character of the holy king are also admired by all Saint Yang. As for the reason, I am afraid it is unknown. As for the holy king, he relied on his special power to devour several kinds of holy flames at the same time. Now Xiao Yang has the aura of a holy king on his body, which is why Xiao Zhuama has such a change. I hope I think too much. Seeing Xiao Yang's rising strength, Xiao Zhuama helplessly shook his head. What kind of character is the holy king? How could he have too much involvement with Xiao Yang? As Xiao Zhuama became quiet, Xiao Yang's expression slowly returned to calm. Bang bang bang. A few days passed easily, and one day, Xiao Yang's pupils suddenly opened, and in the void inside the holy temple of the Undying, bursts of flames like fireworks exploded, completely igniting the place. Just like the real molten world. Finally, successful. Xiao Yang just opened his eyes, and suddenly squeezed his fist involuntarily, feeling the abundant power in his body, he couldn't help laughing. Just after using Fen Ju to devour the undead fire, Xiao Yang's body and even his pupils glowed with strange fluctuations. It seemed that because of the undead fire, some changes occurred on Xiao Yang's body that he was not aware of. Feel the power, Xiao Yang said happily after blinking. This is the middle stage of the 5-star fighting immortals. Xiao Yang closed his eyes slightly, and the power in his body went along the meridians in his body. After a few breaths, he couldn't help but lose his voice. Devouring holy flame can actually increase your own strength. Seeing Xiao Yang's scene, Xiao Zhuama also felt incredible. Before swallowing the undead fire, Xiao Yang's strength was only at the mid-level of the 4-star fighting immortal, but now in the past few years, when Xiao Yang has completely swallowed the undead fire, his strength has actually reached the level of the mid-level 5-star fighting immortal. This kind of jump, but quite eye-catching. After all, the difference between the middle stage of the 4-star Dozyan and the middle stage of the 5-star Dozyan is not even a little bit, and if it is normal practice, I am afraid that if there is no strange opportunity, it will be difficult for hundreds of years to complete it. Congratulations, little Dolma said with a smile. Thank you, Senior, for making it happen. Xiao Yang temporarily suppressed the excitement in his body and said with his fists folded. Now that the strength has reached the middle stage of the 5-star fighting immortals, the Acacia Flame Realm in the former half of the realm can also be thoroughly cultivated. In addition to the tyranny of the mysterious fighting spirit of his own internal flame-swallowing technique, today's Xiao Yang may be able to compete with the real 6 stars. Immortal early-stage powerhouses compete with each other. This is your fighting spirit, it has successfully evolved into the heaven, but don't use it for the time being, let it get used to this new power. After a while, a dim light shot towards Xiao Yang, the dim light naturally, there is the undying nether sparrow fighting soul, but now, its figure is more solid, and the countless grey lines on its body are more dazzling, obviously it is not what it used to be. Xiao Yang took back the fighting spirit without hesitation, and immediately the grey flames continued to nourish it. I am afraid that in the near future, this fighting spirit will increase his combat power beyond words. Something's wrong, this Fen Ju. After a while, Xiao Yang's expression became strange. Obviously now Fen Ju has completely evolved to the peak level of the holy rank, and in the next step, he can step into the real level of immortality. Fen Ju has already reached the holy rank before, but now, with the power of immortal fire, it is enough for him to step into the realm of immortality. But I always feel that something is wrong. Xiao Yang shook his head. Moreover, Xiao Yang secretly felt that this Fenju is far from being that simple. The so-called 6 realms of Fenju, even now, is quite lax. Even the one who cultivated before did not enter the room. Xiao Yang has a kind of illusion. It seems that only by breaking the level of Fenju cultivation technique can you be qualified to explore the so-called 6 realms. Since the immortal fire has been successfully transferred, it's time for me to leave. At that time, seeing Xiao Yang's appearance, Xiao Zhuoma smiled. Senior, where are you going? Xiao Yang asked. The world is so big that there is always a place for me to hide, and the strange little beast from before will not be low in the future. Perhaps soon, those guys will make a comeback. This time, without the protection of the Holy King and many strong men, the Great Thousand World is at risk. Speaking of this, Xiao Zhuoma's expression became serious for the first time. The stronger the strength, the greater the responsibility on the body. I hope that when the aliens attack in the future, you little guy can contribute to our great world, and I will give you the fire of immortality in vain. Xiao Zhuoma shook her head. The younger generation should take the lead. By the way, senior, what is the source of this undead fire? After a while, Xiao Yang suddenly remembered something and said excitedly. The source technique of Holy Flame is exclusive to Holy Flame, and each Holy Flame is different. You put your soul power into the Holy Flame crystal. Xiao Zhuoma said after Xiao Yang asked. His mind moved. The grey Holy Flame crystals appeared in Xiao Yang's hands, and Xiao Yang's eyes closed slightly, and the dazzling soul power penetrated into it, exploring the origin of the undead fire. Immortal and indestructible, break and stand up. After a quarter of an hour, Xiao Yang spoke slowly. I remember that the previous owner of Undying Fire, once because of an enemy whose strength reached the level of the 8-star fighting immortal, he went to challenge the 7-star fighting immortal, and he disappeared after being seriously injured. 10 years later, he appeared again, and his strength has skyrocketed to the level of the 8-star fighting immortal. No one knows what happened, but I think this is the origin of the undead fire, and the secret of it, you still need to understand it yourself. Dorma said. Break and then stand. 7-star fighting immortal. Xiao Yang kept echoing. It's over, it's time for me to go. After you leave, the holy tan of the Undying will return to my hands. Little guy, big sister is optimistic about you. I hope to see you next time, and you will be able to be worthy of your status as the controller of your 4 holy flames. As soon as the voice fell, a light-like figure flashed randomly, and little Dolma disappeared here. Congratulations to the junior. Seeing this, Xiao Yang nodded lightly, and then respectfully bowed to the place where little Dolma disappeared. After a few minutes, the space was completely quiet, because at this time there was only Xiao Yang here. However, for this reason, the journey of immortal fire can be regarded as a successful conclusion. This time, not only did he help the fighting spirit evolve, but he even devoured the undead fire. Xiao Yang was the one who received the most goods, but what awaited Xiao Yang next was an unprecedented battle. This video will end here.